Hi guys, so building arrows today, but something that you want to keep in mind that a lot of people don't think about. When you're building your own arrows and you're fletching them and cutting them and stuff like that, when you have your shaft, the straightest part of the shaft is going to be throughout the center, okay? So what I like to do when I build my arrows is you want to take a silver pencil or marker or something like that and put it on an arrow spinner, okay? And what you're going to do is you're just going to spin this arrow and you're going to look at the ends. And essentially what you're doing is you're trying to find where the wobble is in the arrow. So rather than just sticking the shaft in the saw and cutting it, this end right here is going to have a little bit of a wobble back here on the very end. Now, so if you were just to stick this in the saw with the knock on it, on this side, let's say, and you cut it off, well, you just cut the straightest part of the arrow out and you left the wobble in the arrow. So by spinning it, you're cutting the wobble out of it and you're taking the straightest part of the shaft, and that's what you're going to build your arrow with. So something to keep in mind. Think about it. Like I said, if you do build your own arrows, get a spinner, spin them all, check them, mark them, cut out the bad stuff, and that way you have a perfectly straight arrow. All right, so here's another thing. So when you're actually cutting the arrow, after you spin test them and mark them, and you're going to cut them, a lot of people will turn this on and they grab the arrow right here, right, and then they push it in. Well, when you do that, you're flexing that shaft, which is not giving you a perfectly flat cut. So when you're cutting, you want to hold back here at the knock, and then hold right up here at the front when you cut that arrow and spin it, so that you're keeping the shaft straight so that there's no flex in it. So that's another thing to keep in mind when you're cutting your arrows. You want to make sure that you have a flat cut for your insert.